Ayy, flipping the script from my old ways. Pick up and switch them in flow state. Commas, I'm going through grown pains. I wasn't used to being so gross. I tighten the threads at a crochet. I wake up to cushion some OJ. The last tape I dropped was a rollway. It's yellow, I swear it's a Coldplay. Viva la vida, I'm swiping the Visa. We working, I'm taking off no days. Cause we throwing shots like a gun range. So we found.
Welcome to the No Time Outs Left podcast. It is time for us to get what we are owed. Today's topic and episode is what happened to the village. Is it coddling or is it parenting now? I thought about this deeply because I remember when I was growing up, after my basketball games, there were two instrumental individuals that made a difference in my life. The first individual was by the name of Tina Huff. She would call me up in the stands after the basketball games and give me advice on life. She would also put a few dollars in my pocket. Do you know how that meant and how that felt to be a young woman in my young womanhood, having someone that is slightly older than me, someone that I could look up to, that'll take me by the wayside and give me advice, help make me believe in myself, talk to me about the game that I played, and put about $20 in my pocket. Think about it. We're in high school. We didn't have a job. Our parents didn't have any money like that when our parents could make the games. And a lot of our parents didn't even have cars back then. But to have someone such as Tina Huff to the young girls, to reach back out and to give inspiration, to talk to us about life, to be that person there when a young girl needs someone to be able to look up to. Or not only that, just to have that person that is supportive, that goes a long way. I'm really not seeing that anymore with this new generation. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it may have something to do about parents not wanting anybody to correct their children. That's the change that I'm seeing. But we're going to get back into that a little bit later. But I recall, I also played softball with an adult league. And I recall Tina Huff picking me up. She would take me out to eat. She would talk to me. And I remember at that age, I was looking for someone to identify with. I was looking for somebody older. I was trying to find my identity as a young girl, as a 9th, 10th grader, 11th grader. You're looking at those women in the community that are pillars in the community to reach back down to give you something. But at that particular time, I didn't know that was what she was doing. But I just recall me, my people really didn't have any money. But she would pick me up. She would never ask me to bring any money with me. After the games or softball games, we would go out to eat and she would pay for everything. And again, like I said, I was in high school. I didn't have any money. And my parents really didn't have any money like that as well. But she took that time out of her big, busy schedule to reach back into me, regardless of whether I was in high school or not. I just remember those times in high school. I didn't have an expectation of her giving me anything, but I would go up into the stands, we would talk, and she would just hand me $20. That $20 meant so much to me because I could go to the concession stands. I could buy me something to eat after the games. I was just grateful for that. When I reflect back on that and I start thinking, like, what has happened to that? What happened to our village? But Tina Huff was somebody that I just could never forget. Tina Huff is from Baldwin County. She grew up in the community. She played softball. She's so heavily involved with the sport still now, Baldwin High School. She is one of those diehards, and she would come to every single game. It didn't matter whether or not the game was in Australia, Tina Huff was going to be there. Southwest Macon, Hancock, Wilkinson County, Columbus, Georgia. I remember playing down here in the first round of the playoffs. But I always knew where to find her. And I still feel as if this day I can actually call her, and if I need her, she will be there for me. And as we grow up and we have our own lives now, we're not as on the phone with this person every single day. But this person still played this instrumental role to us. They talked to us about things that we were going through in our young womanhood. And nowadays you see so many young girls on social media now. They're doing inappropriate things. What happened to that young woman to reach back to talk to that young girl? What happened to these young men, these older men in the higher generation? What happened to them talking to the young men? We have failed. In a sense, now with this generation, we have failed our youth. But we can do better. It is not too late. When you think that children are not listening to you, they are listening to you. I remember having a conversation over the phone with a really good friend of mine. And I always play this YouTube podcast by this guy by the name of Neely Fuller Jr. And he talks about so many things that we can do differently in our community. But most of the times when I'm riding in the car with my nephew, he doesn't really want to hear it because it's constructive. But this particular day, my best friend, one of my good friends and I were talking, and he said, "Oh, I already know what you all are talking about. Y'all talking about Neely Fuller Jr." That right there alone made me realize that these kids are listening to you. But what are you putting back into the new generation? What are you putting back? But what Tina Huff did for me is things that I really don't see anymore in the community. This lady was just so instrumental in those years for me, in my high school years, especially in 9th and 10th grade. She was that person that I knew was going to be at every single game. And as I said earlier, I didn't ask for any money from her. It's just what she did because she felt there was something that she had to give back. And those are the things that I always keep with me. I still love her to this day. She was just so instrumental to me because it's so hard for you to come out the game, come back, from playing the game, whether you lost or you win, or whether or not you won the game per se. But I can't think of many times where somebody just told me, "Hey, you played good." It was just always some form of criticism. And a lot of times kids don't really need to hear that every single time. They need to hear things that they did well sometimes. So she reached back and did that for me. She was one of those older generation heads that I felt like I could count on and call on when I needed somebody to talk to when I was in high school, when I needed that support. She was one of those individuals. I would be remiss if I did not mention Linda Lattimore as well. Linda Lattimore was also that individual in high school. She was also that individual that put $20 in my pocket as well at the games, sat me down and talked to me. She not only did that when I was in high school, she would pick me up when I was 11, 12, 13 years old. And we would go to the mall. She would say, "Hi." That's my nickname. If you all don't know it, I can't keep hiding that from everybody. But she would say, "Hey, I'm going to pick you up Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. We're going to go to Macon to the mall." Linda loved to shop. When I tell you, we would be in that mall from we would probably get over there about 10, give or take. We would be there probably to about 7, 8 o'clock in the evenings. I was so tired, I was ready to go. But every single time, we would probably go to Piccadilly's and eat. We would do those things, and she would spend that time with me. She would go back and forth in the stores and buy different things for herself and her children. And sometimes she would get me some things as well. But that's what I needed as a young girl in my young womanhood. I needed someone to reach down for me. That is what we're lacking now. Our youth are pretty much out of control. They have these cell phones now, and there's different things that they're posting, but nobody is talking to them. Nobody's talking to them about cell phone etiquette. When I was coming up back then, we didn't have cell phones. So that's not anything that Linda or Tina had to talk to me about. But I still was going through my young womanhood. And Linda would talk to me about relationships. she would tell me, hey, you may want to think about that. That's not hitting on nothing. I don't know about that. You know what? I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done that. And that's what I really, really, really thank her for. We've had so many conversations about life and myself being in my young womanhood. And she was just really there for me and mentoring me. There are things that young women, teenage years, and young adulthood from about 12, give or take, all the way up until about 20 plus, and even throughout that time, they need that person to reach back down. They need that. And outside of that, Linda would come to my games in Atlanta. She would show up at my games in Atlanta at Georgia Perimeter College and watch me play. But again, I was going through so much personally at that time, and I wasn't in tune to what was going on in the moment. But Linda would show up. Sometimes I would get in the game, sometimes I didn't. But she still was there. After the games, I could visibly see her supporting me. And as a young woman, you know, it wasn't too many people that came to support you like that outside of your family when you went off to college. It was that staple that she left in me, and she never stopped supporting me. She would put a few dollars in my pocket as well. That's what she did for me. And as I said earlier, these young women and young men need that. We don't have that anymore. What has happened to the village? What has really happened to our village? What I've been seeing nowadays, whether it's with the sports or whether it's just in the classroom or in a school environment, we have so many individuals that are connected to the classroom, to sports, to everything. And what I've been seeing is that parents won't allow the people that want to support to criticize constructively their children. They don't want anybody to call them out. Oh, not my child. Oh, you better not say nothing to my kid. Why can't we say anything to your kid? If we are delivering a message that can help your kid, why can't we help your kid? Because when we were coming up, it took a village. If I did anything wrong in the neighborhood, somebody's going to come up there and get my mom and my uncles and tell them what I did. And they straighten it out. On the last episode, I talked about Terry Moore. When we did something wrong at school, Terry Moore reported it back to our parents. And they straightened it out. It wasn't, oh, I'm on the way up here now. I'm going to tell her about herself. No. What have we become? Our village has been dismantled. We need our village back for our children. Our children are falling by the wayside. Why can't the community say something to your kids? They should be able to say something to your kid that is constructive to get your child in a better position. Most people in this world are not bad people. Especially the individuals that work with children, especially the individuals that are staples in the community that work with children. I remember Barry Watson, Mr. Scott. They would come in the community and get kids, put them on AAU teams. They gave back to the community. Our parents didn't stop them from disciplining us because that's what we needed. We needed that. That's why in our generation, we didn't have so much of these atrocious things going on right now. These bad things that are going on in the world right now. They will call you out. And they held you accountable. And we didn't have parents that were trying to stop that. Parents, the community, stop it. We are losing our village. Our kids are going haywire right now. We need our village back. But our community of parents, we are coddling our children. When your children are wrong, they are wrong. And it's okay to call them out when they're wrong. Barry Watson would take us to Atlanta and didn't ask for a dime for gas money on these tournaments. Sharita Scott, one of the former basketball player friends, grew up together in high school. Her father was involved too. They reached back out to the community. But what's going on now is people really don't want to give free time anymore because of things like that. Because of what we've taken away from them. We've taken away the autonomy and the right to help. But one of our children, they'll end up on the news, and the first thing that parent says is, my child was a good child. Oh, my child didn't do that. It's too late now. We are trying to help allow these people to give and to discipline your children. That is what has happened to the village. It's not that tough parenting anymore. I'm not saying you should be putting your hands on anything, but talking to your children. Talk to your kids. Discipline your kids. Allow the community to help raise your children. Because if you don't, we would have the haywire in what we have right now in our communities, and it's not good. We have our youth joining gangs, robbing individuals, shooting up this, shooting up that, and they're doing it in our communities. They're doing it, and you have those elders now that they're scared to say anything to your children because you made it that way. You made it that way, but it's not too late. We can change this overnight. Allow the village to come back and stop coddling. We need to allow the village to come back because that is the only thing that we're going to have and that we have to get our community back together. It is not too late. There's so many resources out there. Take advantage of the help. But I cannot forget those individuals that did that free of charge because the community backed them. And sometimes I can see now why these individuals are charging for training sessions. Because when people did it for free back in the days, people didn't appreciate it. That is those individuals' times. All right, so, why my child didn't get in the game? Oh, you don't say that to my child. No, we're not tearing down your child. We are just trying to show your child that nothing in life will be easy. It got the village. We gotta have the village back. The coddling is not working. It created a whole lot of disarray in our community. So what has happened to the village? I just told you what has happened to the village. But what can you do to change that? As a parent, allow the teachers to correct your children. Don't get on the phone. Oh, my child said you did this. Don't do that. Because most educators and community individuals, even if it's a community coach, they took an oath to give that time to your child. And the things that they do, they don't get compensated for all of that. Now, there's some bad people in the world. I understand that. But overall, the people that are trying to help the youth are really good people. That percentage is extremely high. We wouldn't do anything to hurt these kids. Allow the individuals that are trying to help the autonomy to help as a whole. Don't hold them back. Because whether you know it or not, it's hard for children, teenage kids to come to their parents to tell them anything really. It's really hard. They don't really feel comfortable. Because I remember as a kid, it was hard for me to go talk to my mom about anything. It's just because we don't feel comfortable. Those kids rather come to somebody else other than their parents to talk about certain things. So allow that avenue. Allow those individuals to come in to help. Our village is cracked right now, but we can slowly build the village back up. It is not too late. But first, if we start allowing individuals such as the Tina Huffs, the Lena Lattimores, the Barry Watsons, the Scotts, and there's so many of those individuals out there to come back and play an instrumental part of our youth lives, we can build that village back up and it won't be broken again. The youth are our next generation. They are our future doctors. They are our future attorneys, our police officers, our business owners, our doctors. We believe in them, but they have to be disciplined. We are tired. I know I'm tired of seeing things on the news. I'm tired of saying, oh, well, he was a good kid. He didn't do that. He did something. He did something to be on the news. But all those individuals that tried to help, you wouldn't allow it. Let's bring our village back together. And again, it is not too late. It is not too late. That is how I grew up. So many programs in Columbus, Georgia. There's so many programs. But a lot of times you see so many individuals from the community arguing on the sideline. Oh, you shouldn't have said that to him. And you shouldn't have said that to him. That's a time and place for everything. If you have any discrepancy about what a youth coach has said to your child, pull that youth coach to the side after the game. Handle it in a different manner. It does not need to blow over. But I guarantee you that youth individual is coming from a good place. We gotta stop coddling these children. Is that parenting? I don't know. You all have to tell me. Is that parenting? It seems like coddling. And I'm not on here to talk down on anybody's parenting. You're doing the best you can. You keep doing what you're doing. But allow the extra help, especially when your children are in middle school, your children are in high school. Allow those individuals from the community that have a proven track record that can help take your child and elevate your child to the next level just by moral compass alone, based on the discipline that they instilled in them, based on the hard work that they've instilled in them. Allow that. Because those individuals that know people and a lot of coaches on different teams, sometimes they don't want to deal with the extra that is coming from the community. They don't want to deal with that. And I've been in tough position as a coach myself, to make hard changes within the youth that I've been a part of. I had to make decisions that I felt was right for that individual and right for my team. Of course, individuals in the community, they didn't agree with it, but I had to do what was right. And you know what? Those children come back to tell you after the fact what you did for me. You was hard on me, but I would never forget it. You taught us this and you taught us like those other individuals. I would never forget those individuals because they put something back into me. They supported me. We are trying to support the youth. Let's not tear them down. But they need constructive criticism because we need that village. Our crime rate is up everywhere in our neighborhoods. Where's the village? The village has kind of stepped away. But can you really blame them? Can you really blame them? Let the village come back in to help. They're always welcoming to help. Don't stop the village, because it takes a village to raise a child. It not only takes the parents, it takes the bus driver, it takes the cafeteria individuals, it takes the individuals that are working on the roads to make sure we're safe, it takes the teachers, it takes the counselors, it takes the paraprofessionals, it takes individuals in the community like the Linda Huffs, like my Uncle Larry Simmons, like those individuals that put back into our program, like all of these coaches, like all these mentor groups. It takes a village. Our kids are up against so much now in this world, and we have to stop coddling. Stop it. We have to do better as a community. We have to do better. And I know we can do better. And it's not too late. And that is the part of the episode that is called What Happened to the Village? Is it parenting or coddling? I hope that this message resonates to the community. And as I stated earlier, this is not personal. This is serious business in our community. And we have to get on top of it now. It takes a village to raise a child. And we have to understand that. And it's not too late. Here's another segment of the show that is called The Shot Clock. I was watching another WNBA game the other day, and it was the Aces taking on the Valkyries. I gotta say that I'm so proud of Golden State Valkyries. Those individuals are about 500 now. They are competing, but what they lack is the experience. They lack the experience to close games. There was an incident in the game. They were up about 5 points with 2 minutes left in the game. And a young lady from Golden State fouled Jackie Young. Being up about 5 points, Jackie Young was fouled at the 3-point line. Jackie Young made all of her 3-pointers. And I believe they were down like 4, maybe not 5, 4. But it was a momentum changer. Coaches we teach do not foul a jump shooter. Just close out and box out. That's it. And it was a mental mistake. It was a mental lapse. Those mental lapses will cause the game for you. And as a professional athlete, I'm pretty sure their head coach has taught this before. But that's lack of experience. You're playing against a 3-4 time defending champions. And that happens, and individuals sometimes may fold under pressure. And that happens as well. But I just had to notice and allow the community to know how well they've been doing. And they played the Aces twice, and they came up short about 2 to 3 points every single game, or no more than 5 points every single game, which means that, like Deion Sanders says, they're coming. So I think that is a team to watch out for. That is somebody you need to watch out for, and that's the end of the shot clock. I hope that I could deliver some important information for you all today on No Timeouts Left. It is time for us to get what we're owed. No Timeouts Left, hosted by Shanika Ward. Up until next time, we'll see you next Thursday.
Hey, flipping the script from my old ways. Look up and switch 'em